Goosebumps. Don't get me wrong, man. I'm getting goosebumps, and I probably would love this game. I probably will, right? I will complain about it being like, where's my partner members and so on. At least I have like a wife or something I can text with, but but I will be like, yeah, but I will play this game like 300 hours and be like, yeah, you know, it could be better. Like, you know how I'm gonna be. I'm gonna play this game like 24/7 and still be like, So, hello everyone here. Time for Final Fantasy XVI is the final trailer. So that, anyway, I love JRPG games. It's always been my passion, my biggest, thing, Japan and so on. I think a lot of people see me as these days as the anime manga and the channel, right? But I've always been a JRPG guy, right? I own, every basically JRPG ever, right? Scarlet Nexus, whatever, right? All of them. I even, of course, have, for example, my latest game I played, right? The huge box here of Tactical. So I love JRPG games. And XVI, man, it's interesting because, again, right, Square Enix has moved away from the gameplay, kind of got into this new, okay, we're gonna make a new fight, but I think that it's still gonna have a lot of its core, right? So I'm very excited, and of course, one of my favorite games of all time is, oh shit. Didn't see that, you hear that, I mean, FFT, right? Which I feel this game, and unfortunately I only actually have this, I need to buy it one other day to my collection, the real one, but yeah. FFT, if it's going back to that roots, right, of more of the classic, that kind of classic, let's say it, brutal and so on. Of course, one of other favorite games, it's Vagrant Story, right? I love Vagrant Story for 12 and so on. I think it's going back more to that. And last, I say this thing before I go into this video, this game, of course, actually my favorite PlayStation game. Sega 42. No one ever played this game, but it's like my favorite game of the game. And I played, all the, whatever, the Sky 2, so what cares about the Sky? But anyway, let's look at FF16. In a world ruled by tyranny. Open 16 looks very much like more, FF9, right? Or maybe FF9, but like FFT, I guess, more, right? And 14 and so on. Yeah, more medieval, right? Less sci-fi. Definitely. Yes, we've seen it for Ifrit and so on. It's Bahamut, certainly. That's a Titan, I guess. Summoning, the squall. It is like rather really no one squall there. Oh, here we go. Law gameplay. You don't have a part anymore, right? I don't think so at all. You just have this, action RPG fight style now, right? Yeah, they're completely gone like action RPG. I'm still getting goddamn goosebumps. Don't get me wrong, man. I'm getting goddamn goosebumps, and I probably would love this game. I probably will, right? I will complain about it being like, where's my partner members and so on. At least I have like a wife or something I can text with, but but I will be like, yeah, but I will play this game like 300 hours and be like, yeah, it could be better. Like, how I'm gonna be. I'm gonna play this game like 24/7 and still be like, yeah. But yeah, it's way more brutal, definitely. Going back to way more of its foundation, right? But it certainly feels like it's going more old school. Kind of like FF9 went back to being a little more, obviously Shiva. But yeah, how FF9 went like, we're gonna go more like traditional, right? Yeah, this feels more, we're gonna go more, bloody, it's gonna be more gore. Hellfire, of course, that's Ifrit's attack, yeah, Titan. That is Titan, of course. And there's a Ramu. See all the summonings here. With all the classic summonings though. We have seen most of the... But it's like summoning fighting summoning. And that's Odin, of course, coming in here. But yeah, it's a lot of like the summoning are fighting the summonings, right? So they're probably part of this war, but they have different summonings per different army. They have Bahamut, of course, the classic legendary dragon summoning, but... And here's the Phoenix, right? And or something like that. If it's the main character, it's the beginning list. If it's very focused on the summonings, really, right? Really focused on the summonings. That's interesting, though, that story aspect itself. You know what it reminds me of a little bit? But I'm gonna throw out there? Attack on Titan, right? Attack on Titan. Like they have this, like everyone has like one summoning, yeah, a shifter. It's like I have the Titan, you got the Shiva, let's fight, right? It feels a lot like all the strongest people are gonna have one summoning each, right? It feels a lot like that, honestly. Next year. Holy shit! First of all, what I froze here is that you see it says staggered, right? So they're clearly still going with, as we expect, right? They're still going with the FF, the formula, right? That it started in FF13. They've kept that since FF13, 15 and 12. So they clearly having the same thing. Look at his UI. He has two different golden thing over him, right? That is the stagger meeting, right? And you can launch him up and so on. So they're clearly doing the same thing there. So even though it looks very different, you have this one-on-one kind of fighting character, Devil May Cry or something. The actual combo system, you still have the 3 out of Bs. You still have the active meter, right? You have the level and so on, different abilities. And then in the end, the enemies are still focused on staggering them, right? And it's probably gonna be like in FF7 Remake and 13 and so on, where it's like, okay, this turtle enemy, you have to use fire magic, right? Or a fire sword, or else you can't stagger him. You have to turn into Ifrit, right? Whatever. He's fire weak, or this guy is magic weak, or so on. You're certainly gonna have the same system, right? So while it looks like, I think from a surface level, right, it might look like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta and so on, you're gonna combo them. It is not gonna be like that, honestly. I don't think so. It's gonna follow the same strategies that we see in Final Fantasy. So yes, it's probably gonna be way more action-packed, but I think from a strategy aspect, right, it probably goes quicker though. It's gonna require the same thing, right? Or this guy, he's damage immune, or you have to first poison him, whatever, or so on. Yeah, it's gonna have exactly those things probably still there, right? At least if it's gonna get the staggering and a special so on. And so many are probably damage immune though, straight up though, or physical immune, I mean, and so on, like they usually are. That's one big thing, right? And then we see this massive combo and so on. Yeah, he gets staggered and so on. So it clearly follows the same thing, right? You have different abilities. And you probably don't have mana or whatever, but I'm guessing, no, you only have health in the meter, so everything you do is probably just paid by your active meter, right? Like you pay them, this ability costs 2, some extra stuff. Yeah, the game, and I'll say this thing here, right? The game feels way more mature. I said it earlier too, but the game feels way more mature than the other games, certainly. I think the game has a lot more focus on not just that it has like some edgy scene, but generally speaking, right? It feels more brutal, people are dying, and it feels it goes back to kind of like the FFT, right? Vagrant Story, those kind of games. So a little more like, maybe someone is gonna get, or maybe this will happen, someone's gonna betray and kill the father, right? It's gonna be more like that. Like FFT is like everyone betrays each other. And so this thing here, right, I think is important for the tone of the game. So, as I mentioned earlier, I said again, FFT and so on. I think this game here, even though you're playing as an action role-playing game, right? Clearly, to me, the storyline is going in that typical, let's say, Fire Emblem, right? Fire Emblem, Tactical Ogre, Tactics, whatever. It's going in triangle strategy, of course. I used missing the beat here. It's definitely going into, I would say, right, that kind of tactical role-playing game storyline much more so. We're much more focused about the wars and these kinds of fighting and this thing and so on. So there's no focus on that. And I would say, comment it later here, but I think it's very, I was obvious, but I think it's obvious that all the summonings, right, they're basically like elite warriors, right, for different countries, right. So yeah, they're basically like, we're gonna like, you have Ifrit, we got Sifir and so on. That's not coming to Attack on Titan, right? But I think especially that feels very obvious here, that they have this country and this war and so on, and he's like a warrior for this country, they're fighting the other warriors. So it's a lot like Attack on Titan, I think. Guys, it's hard to find a good image, I feel. But I really do think that this feels very Attack on Titan, but it's more complicated, where in Attack on Titan, right, it's like 2 countries having these, super warriors, right? But I think this is what it actually is, right? So here's Odin, and he's fighting, I guess, Garuda, I think it is. The bird, probably. Like a little clearer. It's clearly Odin then, right? Obviously Odin. The classic Sleipnir running around with his weapon, right? So he's in all the games. But I really think it's like that the storyline is going to be that we have all these countries, we have this big war. It might be just 2 countries, but it's 2 or more countries, of course, fighting a war. And then the countries have these, warriors, right? So it's very Attack on Titan, I think, generally speaking, right? So they have these like super warriors, and they can summon this, they're connected to the summonings and whatever, right? That's probably how it's gonna be. I think I would say that's very clear to me in this trailer, that it's gonna be like, oh, this country, they got Ramu, they got Shivya, and they got Titan, right, or whatever, and that country they got Ifrit and Phoenix and Garuda and so on, and they're gonna have these fights, right? That seems to me how it's gonna be a lot, right? Then it's probably something like if you kill them, you can take their summoning, or you know, if they die, they can get to someone else. So it's probably gonna be some storyline where, oh, you fought this, I don't know, honorable Garuda woman that had a Garuda summoning, and blah blah blah, and then she got killed by her brother, and now he has the Garuda, but it's like Dark Garuda because he's evil. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be some shit like that because it's gonna be so much betrayal. I've played all the games. I played every Swedish game ever, basically. And when they make these FFTs kind of games, where it's more strategy and, I mean, war, so it's more like war-focused storyline, it's gonna be so much betrayal. It's gonna be so much like, oh, my brother stabbed me in the back and took my power, and then my sister took my son's powers, and my mom killed me, and then my best friend threw me down the river and took my powers. It's gonna be that shit all the time. And then it's gonna be someone's gonna be a demon too, you know, someone's gonna be a demon, right? The church, obviously. If it's like religious people, they're gonna be demons, right? The church is gonna be a dragon or a demon, and yeah, obviously. If it's religious people in this game, let's say it's like it could be like Christianity cats, right? They are actually gonna be demons, or they're gonna be Satan, or they're gonna be angels, right? But they're gonna be evil. If they're angels, they will be really evil. Yeah, they will be like super evil angels, something like that. There's never gonna be so much as a normal human if they're part of a religious part of the fantasy. There's always some kind of mystical evil stuff, right? Yeah, and never benevolent, never. It's always evil. So that's certainly gonna be a thing too, where they're like, oh, this country, wait, or not country, the Vatican state, yeah, we have this, you know, the Order of Sol or whatever, they are allies. Suddenly, what? Why are we betrayed by the Sol? Are they actually demons? Oh no, they were the bad guys all along. The story has to be predictable, seriously. The storyline, you're gonna play the game for like 3 hours, 4 hours, and you're gonna know immediately, oh, that guy, the Pope over there, oh, he's clearly a demon. Oh, that girl over there, oh, she's gonna get stabbed in the back by her brother. Clearly, it's gonna be that game, trust me. It's gonna be a very predictable game, I think. Nothing is bad, but I see all the, you know, the Square Enix tropes, right? It's gonna be, all the story elements is there, right? They're gonna be like, oh, this thing, and then it's gonna be like, oh, someone killed my wife, whatever. I can really see it happening. It is a problem though. They made so many games, right? And they have to kind of use the formula. They always kind of come back to these, you know, oh, this is our favorite kind of scenarios, right? So yeah. You got betrayed by your brother. Of course you did. Right. Is it Attack on Titan? Because I do feel it's very Attack on Titan. Obviously it's a spoiler, but whatever. I feel that if an anime or manga or game, whatever, right? Guys, if a game has been out also one for many years, and I think that I'm not gonna spoil Attack on Titan ending here, so don't worry, right? But Attack on Titan, the whole shifter thing, that was like, what, 6-7 years ago now in the anime? So I feel it's fine to say that they're like shifters, right? I feel it's almost like, when enough years has passed, I think it's fine talking about it. But anyway, otherwise, but I think that they feel a lot like shifters, right? They have their summonings, and like I mentioned earlier, if it's a lot like FFT or whatever, you know, if it's a lot like, right, they have different wars, different, like, you know, legion, different factions, and they're gonna fight each other, and every faction is gonna have, you know, number of summonings. That's what I really do believe. So what do you guys think? I feel I'm on the money now. I really feel I'm on the money, and it's very common in their games. It's gonna be betrayals, and it's something. It's probably some kind of goal of like, I want to have all, you know, if I get all the summonings, I win, you know, or something like that. Yeah, if I get all the summonings, I can combine them and create the ultimate foundation summoning. It's gonna be the storyline. It is gonna be the storyline. It's gonna be, if you get all the summonings, you can now create the new ultimate summoning or something, right? It's certainly gonna be like that. For example, here I have Legend of Mana that I have here. You know, if you play this game, right, you're gonna find all the puzzle bits and you can create them all, so on. It's gonna be something like that, you know, kill all the 8... like in Treasure of Mana, kill all the 8, you know, sacred beast gods, then they turn into one super beast god. Yeah, it's gonna be that thing. Combine them all, right? But anyway, please leave a comment below what you guys think, subscribe, so on, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Guru-sama